So going to economics paper 1, May, June 2022. October, November 2022. Yeah. So the first question says, which one of the following statements is a consequence of diminishing marginal utility? When we talk about diminishing marginal utility, it occurs as soon as extra unit is being consumed. So the benefit of consuming additional extra units, you won't derive satisfaction anymore.
That's why the consumer product, the less satisfaction you have for it.
Yeah, so it means it's going to come downward. So here I go. Diminishing marginal utility occurs as a result of loss in satisfaction when extra unit is consumed. Therefore, the satisfaction continues to decline as more unit is consumed. I think it's clear.
So, yeah.
So the answer is C. I think you get that. Question 2. The table shows the changes in electricity generation from two sources in selected countries between 2019 and 2020. Which one of the following can be deduced from the table? So when you look at the table, they're talking about renewable and non-renewable. So let's look at this the schedule again. Coal is non-renewable, but solar is renewable. Okay, so when we talk about renewable resources, these are resources that can be used and used again. And for non-renewable, they get depleted. That's the difference between them. Yeah. They get depleted.
Cannot be used more than once.
Yeah. So here they said, which one of the following can be deduced? The largest percentage decline in the US in the use of non-renewable sources of electricity generation was in South Korea. No, it's not. The largest percentage increase in the US in the use of renewable resources for electricity generation was in the US, which is yes, they had 45%. Yes. It increased by 45%. So the answer is B. So let's look at C. In all countries, the use of non-renewable resources for electricity generation increased. No, not in all countries. And the last one, in all countries, the use of renewable resources for electricity generation increased. No, it increased in some countries and reduced. It increased in some countries, but the extent to which it reduced, we don't know because we only have an increment here. So the answer is B. Question 3. In the Netherlands, the cost elasticity of demand for organic meat with respect to a change in the price of non-organic meat is 0.5.
If it's above 1, it means there are substitutes.
No. If it is inelastic, what you only need is positive.
Yeah.
Because it's cost elasticity.
I know, but Mr. This is positive.
Yeah.
So there is substitute.
It's a substitute, yes.
Not so, one time Basibet said more than one there is substitutes.
No, maybe you didn't get the question. So for cost elasticity of demand is the degree of responsiveness between the change in price of product X
and
product
price
and the quantity demanded of product Y. So that makes it that's cost elasticity. So here, if it's having a positive 0.5, that is it's inelastic. That means they are substitutes. So an increase in the price of product X will bring about a fall in the quantity demanded of product Y.
Yeah.
Is it clear?
So I did A.
So the answer is A. Yes.
Correct.
Question 4.
The production possibility fund.
So they said the diagram shows the production possibility frontier for an economy currently operating at point X. Before we go into that, what is production possibility frontier?
This is the consumption of resources.
No.
It's a combination of two resources.
Of resources when the product is efficiently done.
No. Production possibility frontier is a graph that represents the combination of two goods that can be produced if all resources
it's fully utilized.
If all resources are fully employed. That is PP.
Utilized.
Yeah, utilized. It's the same. So here there's a movement from X to Y. For every production possibility curve, there's always going to be opportunity cost. That is the point. That's why we have PPF or PPC. So here they said the diagram shows the movement from X. Okay, now they said which one of the following can be deduced from the diagram? Point Z is unobtainable when using all available resources. There's no point Z. Yeah. Point Z is inward, so that means resources are not fully utilized. Point Z here means resources are not fully utilized. It's not Z, it's not A. Point Y will generate higher economic growth than point X. No. Point Y will generate higher economic growth than no.
So can you explain why each answer is not right?
Yes, that's what I'm saying here. So they said point Y will generate higher economic growth than point Z. So when you look at there's point Y, which means more capital goods are produced. And if more capital goods are produced, either point X or for point Y, because they are consumer goods, they cannot generate more economic goods. Capital goods generate more economic goods than consumer goods.
So see.
Listen, there's consumer goods, there's capital goods. Capital goods are used to create other goods.
Yeah.
So for the economy to grow, we need more capital goods.
Yeah.
So that is why it is not B. Is it clear?
Mister, it's not Z because it says here all available resources. Not all available. It's not fully utilized. So that's why it's not.
At point X and point Y are obtainable because it's still on the boundary. So it's not about higher economic growth. The point is X and Y are both resources are fully utilized.
Yeah.
So the point here is that if it's Y, it means we produce more consumer goods. Producing more consumer goods means that our consumption will increase, but in the future we will not increase our growth.
Yeah.
To produce at point X, it means we are producing more capital goods, which will help which will help to increase our output in the future. So it is not B. The movement from point X to point Y has an opportunity cost.
No, it will not help in them.
Hello, let me just finish, please. The movement from point X to point Y has an opportunity cost of 50 capital goods. Yes, that's the answer. So look at the movement here. From point X to point Y, we are producing less capital goods. So that means the capital goods will reduce by 50.
Yes.
And as a result of that, the consumer goods will increase by 25.
So no opportunity.
So there's opportunity cost there. The opportunity cost is 50 goods, 50 capital goods that will be lost as a result of the decision made.
Best after.
Let me just finish, please. Based on the fact that there's an increase in the production of consumer goods. Yeah, it's good, but let me just finish up before you. So the point is this. The point is we should understand what we're talking about here. There's capital goods. There's consumer goods. If capital goods is reduced, it's as a result of we making a choice, producing more consumer goods. So producing more consumer goods means few capital goods will be produced. So the opportunity cost is the capital goods that are not going to be produced. So we are reducing the production of capital goods by 50. We are increasing the production of consumer goods by 25. That's the point I want you guys to understand. There's reduction in the production of capital goods by 50. There's increase in the production of consumer goods by 25, not 125.
Okay.
Is it clear now? So the answer is C. And let's look at why it is not D. They said the movement from point X to point Y has an opportunity cost of 25 consumer goods. The movement from X to Y
50.
is having an opportunity cost of capital goods, not consumer goods. Because point X to Y is it's not an opportunity cost, it's the real cost.
Yeah. So from 200 to 150, 50 capital goods.
From 100 to 125 is the real cost, not opportunity cost.
Perfect.
That is why it is not D. Do you get the point here?
Yeah.
The movement from X to point Y is the real cost, not opportunity cost. That is why it is not D. Okay. Is it clear now? So the answer is C. We go to question 5. They said, in the UK, consumers who remain loyal to their broadband provider pay on average an extra £113 per year. So if you are paying extra, it simply means you are irrational. You are irrational. Okay. So which one of the following is an example of inertia in the broadband market? So let's see. For inertia, it happens when you feel lazy to be able to switch or to make decision. So inertia occurs when consumers feel lazy to switch from one product or service to another. As a result, they make irrational decisions.
They don't want to change. They're used to what they're doing, so
they feel reluctant to change. So this is irrational behavior.
D.
Okay. So the answer is D. Yes. So let's look at why it is not A, B, and C. Consumers remain with their current provider because they cannot calculate the possible savings. They can calculate. If they said consumers remain with their current provider because they cannot calculate. They can calculate, but they feel like paying that. Consumers remain with their current provider because they do not feel valued. No. If they don't feel valued, they would have left. No. They feel valued, that is why they are staying. Okay. C. Consumers remain with their current provider because they are influenced by the behavior of their friends and family. No, they are not influenced by friends and family here, but it is about
just change. They don't want to change.
They just don't want to change. If they are influenced by friends and family, then maybe they would have changed because their friends and family would have changed as a result. Consumers remain there, that's the answer anyway. So we move on to question 6. For question 6, okay, I'll explain it. So for question 6, I did it? Okay, yeah. So they said the diagram shows the market for sugar sweetening drink in Peru in 2018. Peru's government imposed an ad valorem tax, which is an indirect tax. Taxes on consumption or expenses on sugar sweetened drinks. So here, the graph is telling us that there's cost, an increase in cost, yeah? So here they said there's imposition of tax. With imposition of tax, the price consumers will be paying would increase.
Yes, yeah.
Do you understand? The price consumers will be paying would increase. So before now, the price is around, it's 2.05. Now, we need to understand, based on the imposition of tax, they said, which one of the following shows the value of the consumer incidence of the tax? Producer incidence of tax will be at 2.5, and consumer incidence will be at 3.0.
Wait, 2.5 is what?
Producer incidence of tax.
What do you say?
Incidence of tax.
Okay.
And consumer incidence of tax will be at 3.1. Do you get it here? Because based on the imposition of tax, the supply curve shifts leftward from S to X tax. Yes or no?
Yeah.
So that means the quantity supply in the market reduces from 380 to 210. That is the first point. Are you with me? So if there's a reduction, that means it contracts from 380 to 210. So the quantity supply in the market now is 210. So how do we know the consumer incidence of tax? It will be the amount suppliers are charging and the amount consumers are paying. So it is 3.10 minus 2.5. Do you understand? So it is 0.6 multiplied by the quantity supplied, which is 210. So 0.6 multiplied by 210 is 126,000.
0.6.
Yeah, because
Where
that
did you bring it?
the demand curve. Look at your demand curve.
Yes.
Demand curve ends at 3.10.
Yes.
Supply curve is reducing from S to S tax, right?
Yes.
Which means producers will be paying 2.5. Consumers will be paying 3.10. Do you get the graph analysis here? So the difference between 2.5 and 3.10 is 0.6.
Okay.
Then the quantity supplied has reduced from 380 to 210,000
Yeah.
based on the position of tax. So it is 0.6 multiplied by 210,000, and that is 126,000. So the answer is B. Is it clear now?
Yes. But wait, it's multiplied by what?
Multiplied by 210,000.
From where did you bring 210,000?
What?
From where did you bring the 200,000?
210, not 210,000.
200, yeah, it's 210,000 because it's in thousands. Look, it's in thousands.
Here, 1,000, quantity 1,000.
It's in thousands.
Oh. Okay.
Is it clear now? Do you get it now?
Next question.
Or do you want me? Okay, yeah, sure.
I understand.
So there's a supply curve. It's easy. The supply curve has shifted leftward from S to S tax. As a result of that, the quantity supplied would reduce to 210. So before the imposition, the price is at 2.05. Now with imposition of tax, suppliers will pay 2.5.
Why did you bring 0.6?
The answer of 310 times 210.
310
5
minus.
times 2.5.
310.
Show her, please. Show her the calculation.
Oh, okay. 310 times 2.5 equals
Minus
6.
2.5.
Minus 2.5.
Or minus.
Yeah, don't you see?
Equals 0.6.
Not.
Oh my god, my risk math.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
Can we go backwards?
No, it's okay. Continue. Continue, please. So we go to question 7. In the USA, the income elasticity of demand for margarine is negative 0.2. In April 2021, real incomes increased by 15%. Draw a diagram to illustrate the likely impact of this increase in real incomes on the equilibrium price and quantity of margarine. So the first point is that there's income elasticity and we're having a negative YED. So what is income elasticity of demand? Is the degree of responsiveness between the quantity demanded of a product as a result of a change in the level of income. So if our YED is giving us a negative figure, it means it's an inferior good. That is the point first. Do you get that point? So because the YED is negative, so that point is gone. So a negative YED will mean that as soon as income level increases, based on the fact that income level has increased, the demand for such goods would reduce, shifting the demand curve leftward from D to D1. As a result of that, the equilibrium price, we're going to have a low equilibrium price from P to P1. That is about the elasticity. Do you get it? So an increase in level of income will shift the demand curve for inferior goods to the left. Because as soon as income level increases, we stop buying those goods. That's why we call them inferior goods. Goods that we stop buying when our level of income increases. So this is the graph. That's the demand curve for it. Is it clear now? Is it clear?
Yeah.
So that's question 7. Any question about it? Any question? No. Okay. We go to question 8. To question 7. In the US, the income elasticity of demand for money is negative 0.8. Question 8. In 1960, Lake Chad in Central Africa was large enough to provide the local farmers with water to irrigate their crops. However, by 2017, there had been a 90% reduction in the size of the lake. The farmers could no longer use water from the lake for irrigation. You know what irrigation is?
Irrigation?
Irrigation means you are transferring water from where you have it in abundance to a desert.
Yeah.
That is what irrigation is about. So with reference to Lake Chad, explain the difference between free good and economic good. We call them free good because these goods, they don't have opportunity cost. These are goods without opportunity cost, and you don't have to pay for them. That's why we call them free good. Do you understand free good here? So based on the case study, a free good here is, in the case study, the example of a free good here is the water from Lake Chad. The water from Lake Chad is a free good. I think it's clear.
Yes.
Then we have economic goods. Well, why do we call them economic goods? Economic goods are the factors of production anyway. And what are factors of production? These are resources that help in the production of goods and services. These things we have to pay for them. So economic goods are goods that have opportunity cost. They have to be paid for. Do you understand? So based on the fact here, so the case study says, however, by 2017 there had been a 90% reduction in the size of the lake. The farmers could no longer use water from the lake.
So it's not a free good anymore.
So it means, based on the case study, the farmer were unable to use the water in the Lake Chad, which means they need to find alternative.
To the perfect.
Do you understand? So that makes it an economic good because there's opportunity cost.
Yes.
Is it clear? Any question about that? That's question 8, free good and economic good. So go to question 9. Are you there?
Yeah.
He said, prior to 1920, each worker at Ford's car company would manufacture an entire car from start to finish. In the 1920s, the company started to use an assembly line where each worker only completed a particular task. Explain one advantage to a car manufacturer of using the division of labor to organize production. Yes?
It's not the division of labor, government,
No.
individual.
These are stakeholders.
No, these are the factors of division of labor.
Factors of production.
Factors of division of labor.
No. Division of labor is different. I'm going to explain anyway. We call it division of labor because it breaks down production process into different stages, and each stage can be performed by different people.
Okay. Yeah.
So division of labor would lead to specialization. So what is division of labor I wrote? Is the breaking down of production process into different stages,
yeah.
and each stage can be performed by different people. So we have maths teacher, we have English teacher, these are division of labor. So as soon, because you continue to do the same job, the same task, then you become a specialist in it.
Can you repeat it again? A division of labor definition?
Is the breaking down of production process into different stages, and each stage can be performed by different people.
Okay.
Is it clear? So division of labor will always lead to specialization anyway. So what are the benefits of division of labor? The benefits of division of labor are: 1, it increases productivity, it saves time, it allows workers to work on what they know how to do best. So I'm going to explain productivity. So increasing productivity, with division of labor, each worker will be able to produce more output. As a result, the car manufacturing companies such as Ford will be able to produce more cars compared to its competitors. So productivity would also bring about profit anyway. So when productivity is increasing, it means your output is increasing, because productivity is output divided by input. There's labor productivity, which is output divided by numbers of workers.
Yeah.
So as soon as productivity is increasing, it means you are doing more than what you used to do. Then it means you are producing more than your competitors.
Okay.
Is it clear? So that is question 9. Any question about division of labor? Then we'll go to question 10. Are you there?
Continue.
Okay.
Oh, Leo. Sure. I go on.
Okay, so we'll go to question. Okay.
37.
Question,
starting from
question 9 now. We're going to question 9. Prior to 1928, each worker at Ford car. Okay, we did that. Question 10, sorry. We're going to question 10. In February 2021, British Gas increased the price of gas by 22%. As a result, the number of British gas customers decreased by 350 to 17 million. Ceteris paribus, all things being equal. Calculate the price elasticity of demand for gas from British Gas. Show your workings. So first, what is price elasticity of demand?
It is changing quantity demand as a result
The
of changing
responsiveness
price.
of the quantity demanded when the price changes.
She got it right. There's a
Responsiveness.
degree of responsiveness. Yeah, it's not just change. There's a degree of responsiveness between the quantity demanded of a product as a result of a change in price. That is price elasticity of demand. Then the formula is percentage change in quantity demanded
Change in
over
price.
percentage change in price. So here we have our price. They said the price increased by 22%. So we have original price to be 100. We have the original price. Please look. We have the original price to be 100. Then an increase in price to be 122. Then the original quantity was 17 million. No, it was 17 million plus 350,000. Because they said gas customer decreased by 350,000 to 17 million. Yes.
Why did you say 122?
Because 100%.
Yeah, an increase of 22% is 122.
Also, you multiply it by 100.
No,
No.
there's 100%.
Yeah.
There's 100.
Yeah.
Now there's an increase of 22, which gives us 122. So 100 becomes the P1.
P1 is original price, and
Yes.
this is changing price.
So I have
Change.
a question. When they always give you like 22% without anything, you have it by 100 is original.
Yes, that is if it's increasing. If it is decreasing, one will be 88.
You will minus it.
Yes, you minus.
So it's going to be.
If it was decreased by 22%,
Yeah.
It'll be
that is
78.
100 minus 22. That is 78.
Ah, okay.
So you're going to have 100 and 78.
Okay.
Do you get that?
Yeah.
So look at it here from here. So we have our price to be 100, our original price to be 100, change in price will be 122. Then they said British Gas customer decreased by 350,000 to 17 million.
You'll
That
add
means
it.
350 was the original price is
Original
the original
quantity.
quantity is 350,000 plus 17 million. So our original quantity is 17,350,000. Then the change in quantity is 17 million. Is it clear? So PED is Q2 minus Q1 over Q1 divided by P2 minus P1 over P1, which is 17 million, which is Q2, minus 17,350,000 divided by 17,350,000 divided by 122 minus 100 over 100. So we have a negative 350. So we have negative 3,500,000 divided by 1735, which is negative 2.05, which is elastic. Is it clear?
Yes.
Alright, so that's question 10. We go to question 11. So for question 11, they said between August 2020 and August 2021, the world price of nectar wines decreased from 1.83 to 1.42 per kilogram. This was caused by a good harvest in Spain, the world's largest producer. Yes?
I just might have this one.
How do you get to consumer surplus?
Yeah, I did not isolate I just drew it what's consumer surplus. I did not draw how it changed.
Yeah.
Okay, that's, yeah, I was going to say.
Okay, you're gonna get it here anyway. So, are you here with us, please? Okay. Explain the likely impact of this change in price on consumer surplus in the market for nectarines. Illustrate your answer with an appropriate diagram. So here, first, consumer surplus. What is consumer surplus? Consumer surplus is the difference between the amount consumers are willing to pay and the amount they actually paid. That's consumer surplus. With a good harvest, the supply curve will shift rightward and the price would fall.
Yeah.
So initially, we're going to have our equilibrium price and quantity at this point. So with good harvest, the supply curve will shift rightward from S to S1.
Yes.
As a result of that, the demand curve will expand from A to B,
Yeah.
bringing about a lower equilibrium price from PE to P1. So the consumer surplus is the expansion between A and B.
Yeah.
This is consumer surplus.
Okay.
Do you get it? Is it clear, please? So if now consumers will be paying lesser than what they can actually pay. So the difference between what they can actually pay and what they are going to pay now is the consumer surplus, which is from the expansion from A to B. Now, do you get it or not? This is the equilibrium price
How much yeah.
they are supposed to pay. But now
They actually paid.
they're going to be paying at P1 based on the fact that there's harvest. So consumer surplus is increasing and producer surplus is also increasing.
Oh, okay.
Is it clear?
Yeah.
Any question about that?
You guys wanna and
Okay, so that ends section 1, right?
you guys want to do one